if you strip out the disrespect of Rob Reiner, and if you don't do what people on the right, or some people on the right are doing, which is going, well, Rob Reiner had a lot to say about Donald Trump, and yeah, it's nasty, but you can kind of understand. No, what he's essentially saying is that if you talk bad about Trump,
You're
you
gonna
might
get
die.
killed. Yeah. Yep.
If you talk bad about Trump, you might
Yeah.
die.
This is what happens to my enemies.
That's the leader of the country. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Back with another one, back with another episode. You are tuned into
the MSR podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. We were in the building. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann. Nargis is in the building. What's happening, Nargis?
I'm chilling. Come to Maryland and catch a cold.
Yeah, wow, that's tough. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Man. I'm better than I was, so I'm grateful.
Word.
I'm so mad because Hadra made me some soup and I left it. I left it at her house, and I was devastated when I realized it. So I was like, "Oh, this drink was made with love."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get that
tomorrow.
Yeah, it sucks to go out of town and catch a cold, man. That's but at least you with fam, you know what I mean? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you know, we hope you get better soon. We're not gonna keep you too long tonight, but we appreciate you, battling through with us and doing your thing.
Of course.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. I know I announced last week that this would be our last show of the year. It is not our last show of the year. We actually have another show that we're going to do for you all that will be out on this Friday. So this particular show is I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And I do want to give audience at home a little bit of a trigger warning. It's a little politically heavy, and we are going to be talking about a tragedy or two, sadly. And so it's a lot to get into. But before we jump into all of that, remember to subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the show, hit the notification bell, do all of that. Shouts out to the new subscribers that we got over the past week, man. We've been doing pretty good with subscribers. We're trying to hit that 500 mark. Hit it and help us hit that 500 mark. We're moving slowly but surely, okay? Help us get that 500 mark. That's our first goal. You can do that for us. We would greatly appreciate it. It'd be a great holiday gift for all of us here at MSR, all right? If you're listening to us on podcast, remember to rate and review the show, comment, all of that stuff. Follow us on social media, MSR Tribe, on Instagram, the MSR Pod, on TikTok, Mindstream Radio, on Facebook, and we're going to get that Patreon up and running and really going real soon. So go ahead and follow that as well. All right, we're going to jump right into it. Okay, starting off with some really, really, really sad news. It has little legs. Rob Reiner, world-renowned director, frankly, one of the best directors ever, if you really think about it. And it's funny,
definitely,
because I hadn't thought of him for no particular reason as the best one, one of the best directors ever. But when you go through the filmography, which I'm about to in a moment, we talking about one of the best ever. Okay, we talking about This is Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap literally invented the mockumentary. So you don't get Parks and Recs, you don't get The Office or any of that without This is Spinal Tap, okay? But it goes to 11, right? If you know, you know, right? Stand By Me.
Yes.
Okay. The Princess Bride. Okay. When Harry Met Sally. Misery.
Come on.
A Few Good Men.
Good men, bruh. You can't handle
the American president. Bruh, you can't handle the truth, okay? The American president, and there was one more. Bucket List is one of my personal favorites.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. So this dude, and that's just naming a few. He's also Meathead on All in the Family. Some people might remember him as Jordan Belfort's dad on Wolf of Wall Street. They kept pissing him off with the expenses and everything. And if you watch, like if you're in the political sphere, which is something we're going to have to bring up later, sadly, if you're in the political world or you're in the politics, you probably remember him in his frequent appearances on the Bill Maher show. to me, very much a guy that fought on the right side of politics, meaning the left side of politics. Just a legendary guy that lived a legendary wife. And by the way, his wife also sadly murdered by what it looks like is his son.
Yeah.
This is a crazy story. I've been thinking about this since it happened, and I've been thinking about where I personally want to go with it. I want to get you all's thoughts, but I do want to say there is a personal link to this that troubles me, and it's the addiction piece.
Yeah.
You know, his son, he actually did a movie with his son. About his son's addiction. His son was known in their circle and in the Hollywood circle as a person who had some troubles. And you know, I have people in my family like this. So this is one of the ones that just kind of like, it's not just like a celebrity death. It's something that is like, I think a lot of people can relate to. If you have family members that are addicts, or, you know, in some cases, people that have children that are addicts, you know, it's just a sad story all around. Nargis, I'll start with you. Just your general thoughts on Rob Reiner and his wife and the tragic passing.
I mean, tragic. When I first saw it, I never connected. I didn't know he was Meathead.
Yeah.
Right? Until I saw, I never knew his name. So when I saw the picture, I was like, I know that face. That's the one who was giving his father-in-law the business.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Every time.
Every time. Like, I'm not backing down from you, old man. Was like really the one who was that sounding board, that advocate, right? Like, I was talking to my other sister about this earlier today, and she was just like, he was one of the few non-problematic, or at least hadn't nothing came out, white men in power in Hollywood who you were kind of like, you felt a connection to, like positive associations with, you know, you say the name or you see the face or you see the body of work and it's like, oh, Princess Bride. Oh, okay, yeah, I like that guy, you know? So it is devastating to think that not only he was murdered, but his wife was murdered. And just to kind of think about what those final moments were, like my heart goes out to the family. Just in the wake of this, and just because the media sucks and because the internet sucks, and how this is going to be sensationalized in some way that is just gonna do more harm than good, I think, in some cases, when it comes to, you know, the family just coping with it, right? You've lost 3 loved ones.
Pretty much.
In one family.
Yeah.
Right? And if he didn't do it, now you still have this suspicion, and y'all are like, oh yeah, he was acting weird at a party 2 days before the murder, blah, blah, blah. Like y'all already are planting these seeds.
Yeah.
Without any type of trial, conviction, evidence, anything coming out. So, you know, I just pray that there's some version of ease that comes for their respective families through all of this. But definitely rest in peace, because
Yeah, Paul.
I mean, obviously, completely tragic, like Nargis already alluded to. But I'd also add this, like Rob Reiner in and of itself is a great representation of art representing life. Right? Because when you think about his character, like Nargis was talking about, when you think about his character, and even the braveness of his character on All in the Family during the times that they were doing it, like that is really a foundational show. Like it really is when it comes to society, when it comes to race relations, when it comes to so many things. And then to see, you can clearly tell that role, he was truly convinced. Like when he spoke those words, I don't know, you know, whether the writers wrote them, whether he had any input on the way that went, but you can clearly see that it came from a place of full conviction. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, man. And like I said, allegedly, as it stands now, they're pointing towards his son, and Adam was already talking about addiction and all those things. And if it turns out to be like, obviously, we pray for everyone because he had other children also. I believe there's
Yeah.
three more siblings. I believe. So even with that, because if it is a case where his son did and all those things, and more than likely he was probably on drugs or whatever, more than likely this is all assumptions. No, I have no factual basis to this. But what I'm saying, for everyone involved, even for him, if this is the case, it's going to be tragic. Obviously, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and secondly, he's going to have to live with the fact of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is really a tragedy. And like Nargis was talking about, especially for someone who definitely championed on the right side of things in regards to equality all the way across the board, not just for Black people, for people of the LGBTQ community, for people for religious purpose, for all sorts of things, was always as fair and down the middle, and not afraid to truthfully get in there and mix it up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I can do nothing but salute and RIP to both he and his wife, because obviously any man worth a grain of salt that has a wife, normally she's definitely helping be the backbone and the steering wheel to the ship that's moving things along. So RIP to both of them.
Yeah. Michelle Reiner is her name. He met her on the set of When Harry Met Sally.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he changed the ending of the movie because he fell in love with her on the set.
That's just endearing.
It is. It's yeah. The charges against the son, Nick Reiner, from all reports,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we don't have access to court documents or evidence or anything. All of this is obviously innocent until proven guilty, but by all reports, NPR, New York Times, TMZ, seems to be pretty damning.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. As we've been talking, I decided I'm not going to go too deep into this because I want to be respectful of, family and just that and another. Just know that I've had to personally step to a loved one before about behavior. Okay. So when I think about things like this, it always shakes me up a little bit because
Mhm.
when people aren't in their right state of mind. In this show, we talk a lot about mental health. We talk a lot about our physical. We talk about these things. And, that's why I think this story has all of it in it, because if it's true that this man murdered his parents, then obviously that's not only drug addiction. We're probably talking about mental health in the whole deal. Paul will be back in a second. We'll keep rolling. The whole deal. So, we just gotta be, I don't know, man. I'm not a drug rehab expert. This is, obviously well above my pay grade and my expertise level, but I just think that we just have to, when you have someone that's struggling, you have to be mindful. But also as a parent, it's just, I feel like they were probably in an impossible position. Like, what do you do? That's your child. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we've
Right.
heard these stories before. We all know the Marvin Gaye story and all of this stuff. What do you do when it's your child that is potentially a danger to you and your loved ones? It's hard, that's a difficult thing to answer. I don't expect you to have an answer at all. There's nobody can answer that. It's just really tough. Really tough.
I mean, I think as a parent, you try,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you try the things that you think are supposed to work. And when they don't work,
Yeah.
you continue to try.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no faults of their own for, still having faith in their
Right.
son's ability to possibly recover. But I mean,
Yeah.
him being an addict isn't an indication of some people are addicts,
Yeah. Doesn't
you
mean you're a
know.
murderer.
Doesn't mean you're a murderer, and it
Right.
doesn't mean that you come from a bad family, and it doesn't mean that you're
Right.
loved, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean you don't have access and you're not cared for. It just means
Right.
that, your brain responded to this substance in a way that is
Yeah.
difficult for you to wean yourself off of it. Because that
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like the idea of tying addiction to killing in the manner that's being said that they were killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what me and my sister were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying, like, no, like, hardened drugs
Yeah.
they warp your sense of reality.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she actually referred to a loved one that we have, and like,
Mm-hmm.
remember
Mm-hmm.
this story and, what our grandparents kinda had to do to, and I mean, we kinda knew growing up that it was, like, something going on, but, like, we
Yeah.
heard early on that there was a lot of anger and rage that through trials, tribulations, getting sent off down to the country,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
where you don't have access
Yeah.
and you gotta work to earn your meal and stuff, like, that's
Right.
what kinda got that loved one better, but, I mean, I think it's still a lifelong battle, so
It is, and the thing is, a lot of times, especially this year, we've been dealing with a lot of stereotypes about people that are poor, people that are of color, immigrants, and a
yeah.
lot of people like to throw these, negative tropes on people like that. Like, so only poor people have people that battle addiction and mental
Mhm.
health issues, or only immigrants bring these are violent, or only black people are this or that. And here we are. This is, one of the most successful humans
Yep.
on earth,
It's
and
like
a good person.
A-list,
Yeah, and a good,
A-list.
say again.
No, I'm saying like A-list,
Yeah, A-list
like
superstar,
A-list, at least access to the A-list.
son of a A-list, son of a A-list
Yeah.
comedian. Okay.
Yeah.
We just ran through the film list. Legend. Everybody's seen one of his movies.
Mhm.
Everybody has seen one of his movies. I was watching a podcast I like called the John Campea Show. It was a movie based podcast, and they would talk about how like he has probably some of the most quotables out of any director in the world. Like, it
Mm.
goes to 11. You can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? All of the
My
stuff like
nigga
that there.
Vivigo Montoya.
Right. All this stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. So,
I'll
it's
have
this,
what she's having.
yeah, all of that, right? All of it, right? One of the most successful people in the world, and you still have these very human battles. And sadly, maybe went out because of that. So that's super sad. And all we can say is rest in peace to the Reiners and love to the Reiner family for sure. Paul should be back in a moment. He's been having internet issues, so he'll probably pop in a second. That's why we were laughing at the beginning of the show, just so y'all know. We were laughing because Paul's video was lagging hard. It was funny. But Paul should be back in a second. But for the sake of time, I do want to transition to, and I hate that I have to talk about this. I love talking politics and all
Yeah.
of that, but the fact that this relates to there go Paul right there. The fact that we think, there he is. Welcome back, P. It's all good. Okay. We transitioned to the tweet. The fact that this even relates to politics in any way is ridiculous and sad.
Mm.
And the fact that this relates to Donald Trump is ridiculous and sad. And I hate, honestly, I hate that we have to, but we have to talk about this because this is a leader of the free world, and this is how he chose to express his condolences for the Reiner family, if you even want to call that. And I'm gonna read the tweet. Well, it's not a tweet, it's actually a true social. So I don't know what you call them, a social, whatever. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle. Reportedly, due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy, in all capital letters, by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps never like never before. May Rob and Michelle Rest in peace. Paul should be back in a second, we hope. I hope to get his opinion on this. Obviously, that's ugly, right? Obviously, that's bullshit and disrespectful to two people who were brutally, savagely murdered in their home, probably by their child. But there's something deeper in there, Nargis, that I think, and I've been trying to make this point really since we relaunched this show. And I get it, man. Donald Trump does so much that sometimes it's kind of, you have to decide what's important and what's not important with this guy. You really do.
Right.
If Clarence is here, he would say that, right? And I do agree with that to an extent. But what this social is essentially saying, if you strip out the disrespect of Rob Reiner, and if you don't do what people on the right, or some people on the right are doing, which is going, well, Rob Reiner had a lot to say about Donald Trump, and yeah, it's nasty, but you can kind of understand. No, what he's essentially saying is that if you talk bad about Trump,
You're
you
gonna
might
get
die.
killed. Yeah. Yep.
If you talk bad about Trump, you might die.
This is what happens to my enemies.
That's the leader of the country. Okay? Say what you want about Obama, say what you want about Bush, say what you want about Biden, whoever. I'm just going to leave those presidents because those are the ones that most people in our age group or younger really remember, right? One of those three. There were people who were very critical of Barack Obama that passed away, and he handled it with dignity. There were plenty of people that were super critical of George W. Bush.
Yep.
George W. Bush, for all our Gen Zers out there, was one of the most unpopular presidents and leaders I'd ever seen up until this guy.
Yes.
Critiqued all the time. Handled it with class if someone passed away. Joe Biden, no one seemed to like him. Politicians, whatever. If someone passed, he handled it with class. That's just step one for a president. Handle it with class. A lot of people have been saying, I'm not going to speechify all night. I just got to get this off my chest. A lot of people have been saying, well, yeah, he could have, this is nasty. And to the credit of the Republicans that have spoken out on this, they always kind of end it with, even if he would have said, I didn't like the guy, but ultimately he was a good artist and he should rest in peace, I still would have thought that was classless.
Yeah.
You don't have to mention you don't like the person. They dead and their wife is dead. And as Nargis said earlier, their freedom is destroyed. Exactly. Right? So even that's just the base level of class, just lack of class. This is beyond lack of class. This is a threat. That's a threat. That is, again, hey, you talk shit. I don't know what Ebro got fired recently, right? Well, Ebro and the Hot 97 Morning Crew got fired recently. And a lot of people are laughing about it, right? And their thing is, ha, you've been on the wrong side of this and wrong side of that. And this is what you get. Academics just on like a tear about it, right? And that's nasty because you talk about somebody losing their job, but at the end of the day, okay, whatever. To me, it's the same thing. It's, if you talk this about Trump, I don't know what might happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no evidence, Paul, that, first of all, we seem to know what happened, right? But even at that moment, there was no evidence that some MAGA person ran up in their house and cut them up because they watched Bill Maher and heard him say something they ain't like. No evidence. The man had been gone for less than 12 hours. Paul's gone again. Okay. So I'll throw it to you, Nargis. The man had been gone for less than 12 hours. Okay. And by hour 6, real live, people had kind of figured out what happened.
Yeah.
So it's no reason, and it's ugly and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous in my opinion. I think this is one of the ones people should really take notice of and really take seriously. What's your thoughts?
So I was thinking as you were naming the presidents who went high, Donald Trump caters to the people who want to go low.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing classy about him.
Yeah.
So I've told you, I am so desensitized just to the degree of like offense that can come out of his mouth and just the behaviors and his whole camp, really, because it's like, y'all are allowing this.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that someone can't just be like, give me the phone.
Right.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone. I mean, who was the president that they protected? Like, people didn't even know he was in a wheelchair.
Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah.
That's what you got people for.
Yeah.
To protect your
Reagan
image.
had Alzheimer's, allegedly.
Who did?
Reagan, towards the end, allegedly had Alzheimer's.
I mean, they was trying to throw every health issue at Biden, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So
These
it's
same
like,
people. Yeah.
you have a squad.
Yeah.
They're allowing this. So your whole group is like, yeah, get them. You know, oh, this national thing happened over here, but because you're so narcissistic and you are so self-centered, let's find a way to make something that has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you. You'd be better off saying nothing.
Nothing to do with you, other than the fact that you're a white man and his white dot. Like, nothing to do, nothing in common.
Yep.
But you, in your narcissism
Yeah.
and self-centeredness, found a way to still, like, stick your claws in this tragedy. And again, further traumatize a family.
Yeah. In America.
Who was already going through a trauma.
Yeah.
You evil, evil man.
No. Yes, that, so not to mention, you know, we've decided not to even really talk about these things on today's show. The mass shooting at Brown University, the mass shooting in Australia. Okay, like, so dropped the ball on those as well, but you know, at least it wasn't as bad in terms of his response than this. Let me tell you something, Nargis, and hopefully Pia get back. If not, we'll keep rolling. It's all good. We often talk about what we're going to talk about on this show. And like I said last week, the show is old, but it's new. We're bringing it back and we're still finding like our footing in regards to like, not what works and what doesn't work. Cause I don't want to just like play that game so much, but like what works for our team, you, Clarence, me, LT, Paul, and what doesn't work. Right. One of the things that we really have been like trying to figure out is how political we're going to be on this show. Right. And I'm being very honest with you. I think about it a lot because I think about not just my mental health. I think about y'all mental health, really. I think about how many times does the team want to come on here and not only listen to me yell and scream about Trump, but yell and scream about Trump. And when you said last week when we were talking about the Warner Brothers thing, right? And you said very clearly, I'm so tired of this. I felt that. Like, I felt you. Like, I was like, yo, I know you are. You know what I'm saying? I know you're tired of this, right? And I think about that because he is a narcissist and a tyrant, and he occupies our space and time. We can almost relate anything back to something that's going on with him because he involves himself in everything. Like you said, this had nothing to do with him at all. He may have shook Rob Reiner's hand at like a party back in like 96. Okay. But this is not, there's no reason to invoke himself and his policies and the trajectory of America into
in the least bit.
We talked about on the show in the least bit. Pause back, y'all.
Sorry, guys.
For the audio listeners. Yeah, it's all good. We already warned them. They know what's up.
I think it's fixed now.
They love it.
Anyway. Yeah.
It's all good. We're gonna work it through. We did an episode back when the Charlie Kirk thing happened. I expressed what I believe Trump derangement syndrome is. It's not what Donald Trump described. It's what they have. It's what they have. They have Trump derangement syndrome. And if we have it, it's not because we want to obsess over him. It's because you involve yourself into everything. He sued the BBC. He announced a press conference today. And again, I work in news, so a lot of this I'm like forced to pay attention to. He announced a press conference today. I'm doing a press conference today, blah, 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 blah. And usually when the president announces a press conference, it's usually about like, war, or I'm awarding someone this medal or whatever. We're getting the Olympics, whatever. I'm suing the BBC for $10 billion because they edited my January 6th speech. This is so if we have Trump derangement syndrome, it's because it's not causing us to get violent. It's wearing all of us down.
Yeah.
This man, who honestly is very difficult to find anything negative to say about him. We don't know his wife, but I imagine she was a sweet and decent person as well. All we can say about Rob Reiner is, man, he made a lot of great, whimsical movies that made us feel good. You know what I'm saying? And he found a way to make it negative because he different in political opinion than him. It's nasty. It's ugly. It's super ugly. And it's really dangerous. And I think that, people should take it serious. That's all I can really say. People should take it serious, man. They really should. I don't want to talk about Trump all the time. I really don't. I love to just talk about policies, politicians, who's running for president in 28, who's running. I'd love to have more local politicians on, which we will. But he dominates the space so much. And the things that he's doing are actually dangerous. Mm-hmm. And he's doing a lot. He does a lot of things that causes you to, like you said, Nargis, to desensitize from it. And you don't realize that voting rules are changing, or this is changing. That tariffs are, people lost their jobs. Tariffs are destroying the country. These real things are happening, not just his jokes and his antics. Real things are happening. And that, to me, was a real thing. Last thing I'll say about it before I throw it to you, final word. When Charlie Kirk passed away, they demanded that we honor him and talk about him in a specific way. People lost their jobs. There was a number I saw earlier that said maybe 600 people lost their job for emailing the wrong thing about Charlie Kirk, saying the wrong thing on air, saying the wrong thing in a tweet. Journalists, professors, people that matter lost their jobs because they didn't bow down and boohoo cry over Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. Rob Reiner was one of the people that actually had very nice and encouraging things to say about the passing of Charlie Kirk. Okay. If we have to have that standard about somebody that was divisive, then we should certainly honor someone that was not. Right. So I asked the people on the right if there's anyone on this, and there are people that listen to the show, because y'all comment all the time, who seem to lean a little right. Where's your decency? And what do you stand tall against?
It's almost like, unless you are in the 1%, mm-hmm. which is 1%, mm-hmm. what do you think aligning yourself with someone like this gets you?
Yeah.
A shirt, a MAGA shirt that was made in China, mm-hmm. and a hat.
Yeah.
That's going to cost you triple what it originally cost you because of the tariffs.
Yep.
What is to be gained other than just wanting to identify with horrible people? I don't understand. Like, you just want to announce yourself as a horrible person. I don't get the long game there.
Yeah, there's no long game. There's no long game.
I don't get the long game there. Yeah.
Rest in peace to the Reiners. God bless your family. I pray that there is healing. And to all of the people, and there's a lot of, if you care about these celebrities, I know they're celebrities at the end of the day, but like, there's a lot of people that you watch and enjoy. Conan O'Brien, Larry David these were good friends with Rob Reiner. That's just the name. Just people talking in my head. They were at a whole party. Conan O'Brien was having like a whole party the night of their murder, or a night before, maybe something like that. Long story short, what I'm trying to say is that, if you just, God bless all these people, man. God bless all these people, and anyone that was a fan of people, and anyone that can relate to this, that may have, family members that are troubled or going through that struggle, man. God bless you, man. God bless you. And I pray for the healing of all of the people involved with that one. All right, let's get to something a little lighter, even though it's MSR. We're going to get deep. This is what it is. But a little lighter. The Indianapolis Colts had a quarterback issue. Okay, Daniel Jones was their quarterback. Daniel Jones was killing it this year. The Colts look really good. Their owner literally stands on the sideline with like a headset. They have a woman owner. It's been really impressive what's been going on with the Colts all year. Daniel Jones was cooking. He was probably going to be comeback player of the year. It was a beautiful thing. And then the man tears his Achilles and boom, he's done. Okay. Backup quarterback's no good. Anthony Richardson is hurt and still shaky on that. There's your inside football talk for the Indianapolis Colts. So what do? They have to find a quarterback, right? They have to figure it out. Well, the head coach was on the Indianapolis Colts staff years ago when Philip Rivers was the quarterback. Philip Rivers is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, former Charger, former Indianapolis Colt, gunslinging white boy, trash talking white boy with 90,000 children, by the way.
Yikes.
Who has been out of the league about 9 years and had been recently coaching a high school football team. They decided the best course of action to salvage their season was to call 44-year-old Philip Rivers.
They said, I know just the thing.
Okay, in the middle of the season, for you all that's not watching football, this is like week 16 of 18.
It's over. Like,
the Commanders are already eliminated.
Yeah.
Commanders played the Giants, and both teams are already like out of it. Okay. So that's how deep into the season we are. This 44-year-old man, a man older than me.
The Super Bowl's in 2 months.
The Super Bowl's in 2 months. The playoffs are like in a month.
It's right there.
Okay. The 44-year-old man not only joined the team, he not only made the team, he started on this past Sunday. And they lost by a field goal. Okay? They lost by a field goal. Philip Rivers, I would show you all footage, but the NFL would take this video down in a heartbeat, so I'm not going to be able to show you footage of Philip Rivers. But if you Google it, Philip Rivers looks like a 44-year-old man. Okay?
Who coaches football?
Coaches football.
High school football. He looks like a high school football coach.
Yeah. He don't look like Brady, who clearly is like keeping himself in shape and this, that, and another. This looks like a dude who's like, yeah, it's over. You know what? I'm just a coach now. I can finally stop waking up at 4 a.m. and doing all the workouts. He looks like Hank Hill. Okay? Hank Hill slinging the football out there with his boys. Okay, that's how he look, and he sounds like. All that's funny, and in a weird way, because I appreciate it, right? We talked about 37 to you or what it is.
We did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's all good. Someone called me up, I probably would be stupid enough to go, you know what, man, fuck it, I might go out there and try it, see what happens. But obviously, there's another dynamic. Before we get to that, though, before we get to the other dynamic to this, just your general thoughts of Philip Rivers, 44-year-old Philip Rivers, 9 years out of the league.
The caucasity to say yes.
That's the name of this episode. That's the title of the episode. Yeah, thank you.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at an article now. The headline says, well, not the headline. The opening line is, "'Twas almost the Metamucil miracle."
Yeah, I love this. This is great. Yeah. The jokes.
Nigga, you've been gone 5 seasons.
Yeah. I thought it was 9, so it's 5. Okay, I'm with it. Yeah.
According to this.
Yeah, probably 5. Sounds more realistic. Yeah. Yeah, he played in 2020. That's right. Yes.
It ain't like you just retired. And it's like, oh, yeah, my helmet's right here. Let me just.
He's 2 years away from being eligible for the Hall of Fame. Like, I think he may have already been on yeah.
I am fascinated by decision makers who have power and the decisions that they land themselves on. Because, yes, this is a game. But can you imagine that locker room when they let them other players know?
Yeah. Imagine being the practice squad quarterback. You went to training camp, did all the stuff. Yeah, you're not that good.
I know the plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone knows who I am.
I've been here since minicamp. I've been here since spring, since April, working to make this team, to get an opportunity.
And you called a nigga that know a nigga that know a nigga that saw a nigga that had dinner with a nigga.
Yep.
That has a football in his garage.
Yeah. You called a literal grandfather. Phillip Rivers is actually someone's grandfather.
To start?
Yeah.
Not even just like, hey, Tech, you know what? You know what? We need a morale booster. It would be nice if we just had like some veteran energy in the locker room just to coach up this guy. No.
Yeah.
You put me in the game, coach.
Yeah. It's ugly business. It's funny, but it's ugly. And there's another dynamic to this.
How you expect me to respect this man?
No, I mean, funny enough, I'm curious to see what the players think. Thing is, NFL players, they weird. Pro athletes can be weird sometimes.
They can.
You know what I mean? Because on one hand, I agree with you. On the other hand, I could definitely see them being like, yo, that's Phillip Rivers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up watching him, or, you know what I mean? And so, okay, going to get another quarterback is not crazy to me. Joe Burrow went down. The Bengals went and traded for Joe Flacco. Like, brought him in. He started. Joe Flacco, older quarterback, even though he's an active quarterback, right?
Yeah, Flacco's old. I remember.
Yeah. The Commanders got a backup quarterback, third-string quarterback, Josh Johnson. Alabama has literally played for almost every team. I think he has actually played for every team in the league. This is second stint with Washington, and the last time he played for Washington was in 2016. Okay, so there's older quarterbacks, and there's value to having like older, grizzled veteran quarterbacks on your roster because they can step in 1 or 2 games and be smart. Maybe their athleticism isn't there anymore, but they won't mess up like some rookie who will come in and be kind of sporadic. So
they can still launch that thing if need be. Yeah.
They're not normally 44 years old. Josh Johnson is probably like 38 years old. You know what I'm saying? But still fine. The thing that bothers me about this, and people's minds will naturally go to Kaepernick, and that's why I was getting the 9 years thing from. So you're right. Phillip Rivers has been 5 years. Kaepernick has been 9 years since Cap has played, okay? And people's minds will automatically go to Cap because of what happened to Cap. What happened to Cap was awful. We all agree with that. Most of us agree with that. But Cap is not someone I would call evil because, again, he hasn't played in 9 years. That's a very long time, right? Cam Newton syndrome right there. Cam Newton is right there. Okay?
Does he want to?
Yes. In fact, Cam Newton expressed disappointment in this.
I'm tired of Cam Newton, not as much as Trump, but he might be in my top 5 list of people I'm tired of.
So
Cam, that's why I don't know.
I feel you. No, Cam, yeah, I feel you. Okay.
He's exhausting. But okay, that's good. I didn't know he was still trying to get out there. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just meant to me, I don't like to make everything racial. I'm not that guy. Sometimes I think as Black folks, we do see ghosts because we've earned the right to see ghosts because so many things have happened to us, right? Like the Shador Sanders thing, I think is more about Dion and Shador than Black man. I think it's more like, nah, your daddy not going to be dictating what's going on out here. And you not Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, somebody that we know you could just throw in there and he's going to be great. It's, less racial in my opinion and more of you flashy Dion's son.
Ego.
ego. We want to, which could have some racial components to it.
But
for
it's
sure.
like, which could be like, it might have some boy on the end of that.
It might have some boy on the end of it. And see, and so the thing is, if we are seeing ghosts, stuff like this helps you see them, because not only is Cam Newton out there, there's just other guys out there that you could have traded for. Jameis Winston is on the roster for the New York Giants, just like the Bengals were able to trade for Joe Flacco. Well, actually, it's past the trade deadline, but there's just ways to make it happen without having to call Phillip Rivers up. And I love the NFL. I do. I'm not one of these people that's like anti-NFL. I'm a NFL guy. But this it's ugly. It's ugly, and it's an old boy thing, like you said. It's like I wasn't even going to consider anyone else. My boy is out there, and I'm going to call my boy up because I know my boy. So it speaks to, again, a bit of a racial aspect. It speaks to an old boy network. It speaks to a lack of opportunity. It speaks to a lot of things. And it's as funny as it is, it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
He's getting $1.2 million.
Who, Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
if I'm reading
minimum.
this right.
Yeah, that's like the league minimum. That's like the league minimum.
Yeah. No, I'm lying.
Okay.
The prorated veteran minimum salary is 1.25, but it says he counts as 278,088 in cash.
Man, hey, you know what? Out of all of this, the racial component, the old boy component, the stupidity of it, if you Phillip Rivers, make $2 million right quick. You a high school coach. You get to go out there and show them boys what you used to be. See, here's the male ego part of it.
Okay.
My dear sister,
okay.
I'm gonna hip you to the sad reality of some of us men sometimes. One of our crucial flaws. We all, and I talked about this on the 37 and you thing. Getting older as a man is difficult. Okay. There's a trend going around where like NFL athletes or former athletes going and they put like the sad music and it shows like a clip of them back in the day. And then it shows a clip of them now trying to do something. They go, oh man, I used to be such a great athlete, right? And it's like funny, but sad at the same time. I don't care if you Michael Jordan. I don't care if you LeBron James. I don't care if you Wilt Chamberlain. I don't care if you Phillip Rivers. It's hard to let go of the younger you and what you used to be able to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's really difficult. So I can understand, even if I'm this old coach and I'm out there trying to brag to these young Gen Z kids who do not care that I'm Phillip Rivers at all, right? If I get to go play, and then the glory piece of it is you're joining a good team. If you're the one, he has no Super Bowls. He hasn't even been to the Super Bowl. If you're the one who could drag that team to the Super Bowl, I get it.
You're not.
No, we know that. But he doesn't get to the NFL without believing, having an obscene, wild belief in himself.
Yeah.
It's the only reason he's doing this. Tom Brady would have came down. Tom Brady got 19 championships, okay? If they would have called Tom Brady, he would have been like, I bet.
Him going to Tampa Bay was like, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, okay, nigga. Yeah. They would have had to pay him more than $288,000.
And they all play too long. They all go out on their back. Most of them. It's rare one goes out like the proper way. They all play a little too long. A lot of them end up going out because of an injury, and the injury doesn't allow them to play anymore. That mentality is very difficult to shake. And I've never been a pro athlete, but I've just been a high school athlete, and I know what it was like to be like, yo, I used to dunk back in the day, and if I could go out there and dunk right now, I would do it. If God would just give me that ability back. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Shout out to Phillip Rivers.
Shout out. But, oh my God. Can you, I'm not, there's so many dynamics you can take this from.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the middle linebacker going to tackle this nigga?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Listen, no, hey.
No, but no, you headhunting like, oh, this old
That's
man.
what I'm trying to say.
Like, it's about to be so disrespectful. It's
Bro,
like,
Young, I remember Alex Smith. This is the last thing I'll say on this.
I do not want to tackle a 40. I was about to say 84. A 40.
He might as well be 84. He 84 in football years. He 84 in that field. I remember Alex Smith. For all of you familiar with Alex Smith, had the brutal leg injury.
40?
Yeah, he was playing here when he broke his leg and almost lost his leg. Okay, it's a great documentary out there about how bad he broke his leg and the bones exposed, and some of the FedEx field turf got in his leg, and it gave him, a horrible infection. They were going to cut his leg off. His wife was the one that was like, no, do not cut his leg off. Don't do it. He got himself back there together. He came out, he played in the 2020 season, which I believe was Phillip Rivers last season. And I never forget the first game back. And it was in a COVID game, so it was nobody in the stadium, okay? So you could hear the players like talking to each other. And Aaron Donald, now retired defensive end for the Rams, sacked Alex Smith, jumped on his back before he sacked him. He never really brought him to the ground, but he like jumped on his back and like rolled his back. The man got a mechanical leg, okay? And then when he came down, you could hear Aaron Donald go, damn, that nigga leg strong as shit. Because he was going to break that motherfucker's leg.
He was trying to break that man's leg.
Okay? He didn't give a fuck about the story and the beautiful comeback. None of that. He said,
he was just ruthless.
I'm going to
challenge accepted.
Yeah. So Phillip Rivers out there, trust and believe Ammers are like, yeah, okay, bet.
I'm going to send Grandpa right back off this field again.
Back to high school. Yeah. So good luck, Phillip Rivers. I'll be watching. I'll be watching because I'm crazy like that. I'm going to be watching.
I'm interested.
I'm interested.
I'm interested. That's crazy.
Crazy. All right. Before we go, we have to honor a legend, not only, an American legend, African-American legend, just a legend all around. Nargis, tell us about H-Rap Brown.
Yeah, we got to say rest in peace. I missed the opportunity to send condolences to him and his family. Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as H-Rap Brown, he passed away in a federal prison on November 23rd of this year. He'd been incarcerated since 2000 for killing a deputy, a sheriff, and injuring another deputy who was there to serve a warrant to him. Prior to him taking his shahada and becoming imam in Atlanta, he worked for SNCC, worked really closely with Kwame Ture, did a lot of organizing actually in the D.C. area. Well, not D.C., but then also like Salisbury, and he was literally all around, originally born in Baton Rouge, and just, used his voice to advocate on behalf of the people. And upon taking his shahada and getting out of a prison, serving a shorter prison sentence, he moved to Atlanta and really kind of founded the West End Muslim community.
Mm-hmm.
He was known for just having cleaned up, like, y'all can't do drugs from this block to this block. Y'all can't prostitute from this block to this block. This is where we're at. Him and his wife, Sister Karima, they opened up a health food store. And we're just, really great leaders. Adopted 2 sons, Ali and Kyrie, and they were just going about their business, really, until he was arrested and ultimately wrongfully convicted. The reason why I say wrongfully convicted is because the surviving deputy, he didn't fit the description that the deputy described. Imam Jamil was well over 6 feet tall, light skin, red hair, very noticeable person.
Mm-hmm.
The description given does not match that.
Yeah.
It was said that he was shot in the gunfire exchange. Mm-hmm. When he was ultimately apprehended, he had no gunshots on his body. There's a young man named Otis Jackson who confessed to the murder that same year to his probation officer.
Yeah.
Stay locked up.
Yeah.
He's continued to confess and say that he's the one who did it. There's medical records that show that he was shot. He physically matches the description. He has not been locked up. Nothing has been overturned, right? The treatment that Imam Jamil endured while incarcerated, while trying to fight for his freedom, was beyond inhumane. His rights were violated. He was sent to a supermax prison in Colorado, which is underground. He was in isolation. First, 15 years of his incarceration, he wasn't allowed to socialize. They were worried he was going to radicalize the other inmates.
Yeah.
Because that was his gift. That he had the gift of gab. So he had a legit gag order. He couldn't make any statement. As time went on, he got diagnosed with cancer. He had cataracts. He couldn't see. They had to literally petition, advocate, fight just for him to be able to get the cataract surgery. Then he got diagnosed with some type of cancer. I want to say it was like a myeloma, multiple myeloma. So in his final days, his son and their legal team were actively fighting to get not just his medical treatment, but they were still very much in the fight of getting this thing overturned. Look at this new evidence, please, And he was 82 when he passed. The man endured 25 years of hard prison on top of already having endured the civil rights movement as a Black man in this country, So I have a personal connection to him. That's the community that I belong to. In Atlanta, that's the community my husband was raised in. So I know the family. I know families who were in community with him. And it's just one of those. I didn't meet the man personally, but when you can just kind of see a thing that was built by someone's, just determination and belief in the people, is so beautiful to witness.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for his vision, and I'm grateful for just the influence he had and that he continued to have. A lot of reflection that I've heard from individuals was just that it's really disappointing and frustrating that it's been so much attention now that he's gone. When it's you just really wish you could have done more.
Yeah.
Those who have higher followings, larger platforms, who were literally out there, megaphone, they were crowdfunding to raise money for docuseries to say hey, these are the facts.
Yeah.
This is the list of all of his rights that have been violated. This is what he is entitled to, all of that.
Yeah.
So seeing the small fights that they had to do from a medical standpoint, from a humane standpoint, and then the larger fights of hey, he was wrongfully convicted. Here's the person who did it. And you just kind of see how the system intentionally tries to dilute your efforts and exhaust you and wear you out so that you don't win. It's another one of those things that we can kind of go down the rabbit hole and just talk all about how fucked up the carceral system of this country is.
Yeah.
But, he was absolutely just a pioneer and a major influence in history, right? Same thing. My heart goes out to his family. And the fight's not over. They're very much still continuing to work on doing what's necessary to clear his name and to still exonerate him posthumously. But, he was laid to rest. I want to say he passed on the 23rd. They buried him. Kyrie probably got the body. I think he was buried on the 25th in Miami. So rest in power to Imam Jamil. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we reached the end of the show. Again, we have one more show for you all before we close out the year. It's going to be our most important of 2025. Nargis will not be joining us for that one. So we're going to say Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy all of it. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff. Merry Christmas. All the stuff, right? We're just going to say all of it to
all of
you.
Thank you.
January
ass season is upon us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. My daughter has been watching nonstop holiday movies, nonstop. And then it went from like 10 to like now it's just like 3 of them. It was like 10 different ones. Now it's just Paw Patrol Christmas, The Grinch, and it's one more I'm forgetting now. It's the newer Grinch though, the 2018 Grinch, like the one with Pharrell.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. My brother was insulted by this, by the way. He was, why are you watching that one? That's the bad one. So, okay. Anyway, so it's that time of year. We're going to take some time to relax. We're going to be coming back in the second week of January. So that would be probably the next time we hear from you. So I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming back and doing this show with us. It's been incredibly fun. And 2026 is going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it is. All right. Paul Spann obviously had technical issues. He'll be back for the next episode.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see him pop in and out. It's going to be very funny for you. If you're listening to us on podcast, you're going to hear his voice like 3 times throughout the show and then just know my man tried. But he'll be back on our show on Friday when we do our best of 2025, along with the infamous Brother Smooth will be there as well. Shouts out to LT also, who's been very busy. I know you've been noticing he hasn't been on the show. LT has been working on something really cool. I'll allow him to come on and talk about what he's been getting into, but life is lifing in a good way for LT, but he'll be back in 2026 as well. All right. Follow us, MSR Tribe on Instagram, Mainstream Radio on Facebook, the MSR Pod on TikTok. Subscribe to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that stuff. It helps the algorithm and it helps the show continue to grow. Get us to 500. All right. If you're listening to the show on audio on all podcast platforms, remember to rate and review the show and spread the word about the show. Okay. Until next time, until Friday, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be great. Nargis, say elevate us for us.
Elevate us.
We're out of here. Peace. All right. Boom.